Hi, this is an overview about how to access your server logs in order to understand what content from your website is already being used by AI search engines such as ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Google AI Overviews in current AI search conversations. So when end users reach out to ChatGPT and ask for what are the best shoes for running a marathon, ChatGPT will in many times actually reach out to third-party websites, read their content, take that back into the conversation and summarize it for the end user. You want to make sure that if that happens with your content, you understand that it happens, when it happens, and how you can optimize this, right? Because this is a huge opportunity because you are showing up in these conversations. And if the customer in the next step asks where to buy these shoes, you have a very high chance of actually being the place where the customer places their order. So how can we do this? We are talking about server logs here. So every time the bot from an AI search engine reaches out to your website, it leaves a trace, right, in the server logs that actually tells us that the bot has visited our website and which URL it has looked at. And in order to understand how to access these logs and what this all means, we have released blog posts. So the first one is called Monitor How AI Search Engines Access Your Site Through Server Logs on the unseen.com blog. And it helps us identify when ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Google AI Overview bots access my site by analyzing those logs. When I scroll down, you will find a good overview about the most important bots, how they're called. For example, OpenAI has many different bots. It's not a single one, right? They have the OAI search bot that crawls the web to improve search and retrieval capabilities. We have the ChatGPT user bot that is actually being used in those exact user conversations. And we have the GPT bot, right, that has been built and is maintained by ChatGPT for a different person, for a different use case. Google AI Overview also has their bots, Perplexity has theirs, and Anthropic maintains a number of bots, right? So first we want to understand what those bots are, what they do, and how we can optimize for them. Great. Once we know this, we want to look into the actual server logs. How do we do this, right? So we have a second blog article here that we have published for you guys, and when you click on it, you will get to this page, and it's called How to Find Server Logs for Any Website, a complete guide for all hosting setups. So in this blog post, we go into details. We tell you for each of those hosting environments how you can access those logs, right? For the traditional managed WordPress hosting, we have an exact description how to find those logs, for example, via the WP Engine dashboard. We help you when you're hosted on Kinsta or on SiteGround. We have a section that talks about shared hostings and how to retrieve those logs from cPanels. If you're self-hosted, right, if you're running your website on a VPS or bare metal, here are the exact instructions how to get those logs. And also for everybody currently being hosted on a cloud provider, talking about AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, right? So we have those descriptions and tutorials handy for you. Containerized environments, Docker, Kubernetes, all of this is included. And then a few serverless and edge hosting platforms. Not all of those hosting platforms actually allow you to access these server logs, right? So we are hosted on Vercel, they do so, and also Cloudflare allows you to access these logs. But for example, Framer and Webflow both don't currently give you the opportunity to look into those server logs. They usually say that this is for security reasons. We can argue about that, right? But I'm very sure that in the near future, they will also give you access to those logs. So if you're currently hosted on Webflow or Framer, you will have to be patient for the time being. But if you're on Vercel, you will have a dashboard like the one we have here, where I can exactly see which of our URLs the ChatGPT user bot from OpenAI has accessed, right? That's one of the most important ones because it's the one that is being used by OpenAI during these conversations with the end user, right? So if this one visits your website, you know exactly that it's trying to retrieve information for an ongoing conversation, right? And then we can see that it's pulled some data from our blog, our glossary. So we see the exact URLs it has pulled into these conversations. This is super important because now I have evidence. I know that this has been useful to OpenAI already, so it will likely come back to these pages. I can look at those. I can see what makes them stand out, why OpenAI has likely looked at these pages from our website, and I can double down, right? I can make those better and I can improve. Great. So going back here, You have all the information necessary in order to start looking at your server logs. Please, at any time, feel free to reach out at ansehen.com if you have any questions to this, right? More than happy to keep improving on the documentation that we have published for you guys. We would also be super happy if you guys take a look at our platform where we help companies improve their AI search visibility, right, and drive traffic and revenue for you guys. We have a background in e-commerce. We know that you guys don't only need a dashboard. That's just more work. You need solutions, right? We're actively working on building those and have already huge success with our customers. So please, at any time, if you have questions, reach out. If you want to test our platform, reach out, and see you soon. Bye.